Okay, we've got now we're at demo video number 18 for the Southern and Sovereign Pest Control scheduling and accounting system. This one is we're gonna talk about the process for canceling renewals and then setting them up where the marketing department can retrieve that information for PIC sales. So moving over to the topics we're going to cover. You're going to see from this that the canceling renewal is a multi-step process. There's a couple, several steps that need to take place. Along the way is the renewal department or customer service department is trying to renew an annual contract. They're going to be updating the call logs and different note fields with information. And, the recancellation reasons will eventually end up in a note field. And so we'll show where those note fields are. And then we'll go through the process on the renewal info tab where we'll update the renewal status to cancel, where we'll add the cancellation date and reason. And then also we'll go through the process of creating a permanent accounting transaction where we'll post to basically their sales history that we're canceling the renewal. Again, just gives us, one more way to show that the contract was canceled. Then we'll actually change the contract. The final step will be making the status changing from active to inactive. And then we're going to there's a process to go in. It's just changing a field where to mark it as whether it's PIC eligible or not, the PIC status. So we're going to demonstrate that. And then we'll go in and show how the marketing department can easily retrieve accounts to set up PICs. So I'm going to go into our system right now, and I've got some accounts set up that I can demonstrate this process with. So I'm going to go to what I call the electronic renewal sheets or the customer renewal info. Click in here, and I'm going to go up here to the filter for month week, and I'm going to put in September week 1. Okay, and I've already set up two here that I can simulate a cancellation. Here is the first one here, this customer number MD00435. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the service order that we've already created for this renewal. So okay, we've opened the service order, and let's go and look and see what's here. We've got a renewal set up to renew a termite and pest control. You can see the renewal line is attached. And then we go down here and we can see their renewal info, their original plan date, and the type of plan that they have. So we're going to pretend that we've been trying to call this customer and that we just can't get them to renew. So part of this process, there would be notes. I don't think we have any in here, but you would, the customer service representatives would have been filling out the call log and putting notes, something like no answer, voicemail, or something like that. So they'd be filling in notes here, and those would be available in the future to anybody who's taking a look at this account. Okay, and then, we would also have the note field on the customer tab. I'm clicking on the customer card that would be available, that we may put notes, regarding, the renewal process. Maybe there's a service issue or something. But again, I'm just reviewing this so to show the different places that we can put information as far as what's going on with this account and the renewal. And again, that's saved permanently right there. So let's assume again, let's say we've got note fields and everything. We're talking to the customer and they're adamant they just do not want to renew. So we would need to initiate the cancellation process. So again, it's a multi-step process as far as what we would do. And the first thing is we would actually go to their customer tab or their customer card. Hit edit. And I'm going to go down to the renewal info tab. And notice we have the renewal status is pending, and everybody, should be familiar, is familiar with this system, who's done the prior videos, know that the statuses are pending, produced, set, TBRST, or cancel, which means that we're going to cancel the plan. So we would change the status here to cancel, and then we would put in a cancellation date and then a cancellation reason. And let's say it's a service issue. So we're changing these fields here. And at this point, I just want to say that, the timing of this and who does this, we haven't decided. It's going to be up to Stephanie to figure out sort of the timing of this as far as when this is done. But these are the fields that will have to be filled out in order to complete this cancellation. Then the next thing that we will do, and actually I'm going to go back to, now that I've filled this in, I'm going to go back to the renewal info list, and notice how this has changed here. This chat status now shows as cancel. It's got a cancellation date and a reason. Now it's still showing that it's an active contract, and that would be the last thing that we do, is go in and change the plan status to an active. So I'm going back to the service order now, because there's another step that needs to take place, and that's where we want to post the an accounting transaction for the that will actually do two things. One, just put a permanent accounting record, a service item for that we've canceled this renewal, and it will delete, or not delete, but it'll post this service order, so the service order will no longer exist. So I'm going to go in right now, and I'm going to go to line, service item template, and we've got one called cancel current contract. So I'm going to select that, hit OK. Then I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to delete the renewal service item. Deleting that line. Now I can go in and post this. One other thing we would probably want to do is, because when we post this service order, it's going to create a posted service invoice for the cancellation. So we probably would want to put in a note here in general note field, just in case anybody ever went to look at the posted service invoice, they would see the cancellation reason there. It's a little bit redundant, but it's something that we can do. And so you could put something like cancel renewal service issue, something along those lines. That would appear on the posted service invoice. So we're going to go now, and we're going to actually post this invoice, which will, again, create the accounting transaction to cancel the renewal. Okay. All right, so that has been taken care of. You can still see how it sits on the renewal info tab. You can see, again, that it's canceled, but it's still got the renewal status of active. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now open up their customer card, and we're going to take a look at a few things. Oops, that's not what we wanted. We want to look. Okay, so here we are. We're on their customer card. Now let's go and look at their invoice register. Now this report is a summary of their sales history. I click here to open it up. And so now you can see, if you ever look at their invoice history, you'll see here the date, and we've got an accounting transaction and a service order number for the canceled contract. We also have the posted service invoice that we can click on. And here's the one from today, September 2nd. And we can view this that shows the cancellation. See here, general notes, it says cancel renewal. This is actually the canceled service item. We've got a small thing we need to change here, where this description would show that we've canceled the renewal, and that's something we're going to change. But again, we will have a posted service invoice showing the cancellation. Okay, now the next thing, again, that would need to happen, or the final step in the process, is we would need to go in and change this status plan status to inactive, and that will be the final step in the cancellation process. This contract is no longer active, so we've got a cancellation date, reason, and the plan status of active. And then we have this field here for marketing status. And the way we're going to use this is to show whether or not it's PIC eligible or not. So we've got two items here we can choose from. PIC, which means it's approved for PIC, or no PIC means it's not. Now, a situation where, say, we'd written them off for bad debt, we would put the status in as not approved for PIC. Since this one was a service issue, we would like to put them back under contract if they give us another chance. So this one will be called PIC. So now I'm going to go in and show there's a couple different ways that we can, that the marketing department would be able to retrieve the information regarding this PIC. And actually what they could do is, and actually I'm going to go out of the system, is they could actually go to the same area that the renewal department uses for their annual contracts and just filter the report so it would show up ones that are PIC eligible. So I can go here to customer renewal info, and then I'm going to filter it by, I'm going to go in and put in the renewal status, or excuse me, the plan status, which is here. And I'm going to choose inactive. So it's going to show contracts that aren't active. Then what we can do is add one for cancellation date. And let's say we wanted to get a cancellation date range of, say, August 1st through September 2nd. So we want to see a list of all the ones that were canceled for that date range. Look what pops up here. So you see a list of ones with cancellation dates. Here's the cancel. These are ones I did today. It shows the reasons, and then it shows their renewal status, whether or not they're PIC eligible. This one should not be, and I want to change this one right now. This is an old one. This one should be no PIC. Okay, so now we've got that changed. But this is what the marketing department would see when running this list. They would see the account numbers, all the information that they would need to easily go in, you know, and just know if they can work as a PIC. So they could take this very first one here. They could go into View Customer, which will pull up their customer card. They could go in to see if there are any note fields regarding the cancellation, and there is one here. Let's open that up, see what it says. It says customer does not want to renew, service issue. Usually there'd be more detailed information. You take a look at the call log, and let's see if there's anything there. Okay, this one doesn't have anything on the call log, but in most situations it would. And then they could go in and create a service order here to try to contact this customer to renew them. So it's a very easy process. So I'm going to go back now and clear the filters in this list, and we're going to do one more cancellation just to make sure everybody understands the process. So put one in for September week 1, because I've got this one here, MD00436. So let's go in and let's take a look at the service order for the renewal. Okay, and again, let's simulate, just say this customer said they just do not want to renew, unhappy with something. So let's go through the process again of what would take place in order to renew this. So, and again, just want to remind everybody the timing of filling out these fields, it will be up to Stephanie and Laurie to figure out what works best based on the renewal process. But the purpose of this demo is to show the fields and the transactions that will take place in order to, create the cancellation. So they would go to the customer, the renewal info tab. And again, also probably fill out notes. I'll put one in real quick. Okay, and save it. Okay, then what would happen is, again, somebody within customer service, maybe one of the reps, Stephanie or Laurie, would go in, initiate the cancellation process, change the renewal status to cancel, put in a cancellation date, put in a reason, such as again, we'll put in money issue funds, and then we'll say this one is PIC approved. Okay, so that's how that's sitting there. Then we would go in back to the service order, and we would need to post the service order in order to, because again, we want to get rid of the service order. We don't want it sitting there, and we want to post the accounting transaction that will that will show that it's been canceled. So we go to service item template, and we find here cancel current contract. So that's sitting there. Then we'd go in and delete the renewal. Okay, then we'd go in and post this transaction. Okay, so now we're back to the renewal info list and see how it's sitting. This one, it looks like it's been canceled, except for this plan status is still active. And again, the final piece of the puzzle will be going in and changing this to inactive. So we'll go ahead and open up the customer card, and we'll do that now. So again, let's take a look at their invoice register. Just to see, now that's posted, so it makes it very clear the date that it was canceled. And again, we've got the information here, we got the plan, we've got the initial date, what type of contract we had, then we have the cancellation reason. So let's go back again and show where the marketing department, again, they're going to be working the same area that the customer service department works for their electronic renewal sheets. They'll just be sorting the information or filtering it in a different way. So again, the marketing department would go in and say, okay, I want to see a list of the ones with a plan status of inactive. Then they would add a filter for probably for cancellation date. And again, we're going to put in 8/1/2015. And actually, I made a mistake on this prior one here. This should be PIC eligible. I was thinking this was bad debt. So let me go in and change that real quick. So let's say this is PIC eligible. Well, I'll tell you what, let's change this reason here to bad debt. How about that, so we can see the difference? So you can see this is what the marketing department would see. They would see, okay, here's a list of cancellations for the date range. I've got the customer numbers, and I've got the reasons that they were canceled. Complaints, funds, bad debt. They'd say, okay, I can go in and work these three, or I can try to set them up again. So again, they could click on whichever one, go to View Customer. Again, go in, look at the call log. Go in, look at the note field. See what's going on, see the cancellation reason. Again, and then if they could make contact, they would create a service order and work towards creating the PIC. So to me, it's a very, very easy process how this works. Especially from the marketing department end. I mean, if For those of you that have been around for a long time and know how we used to do it, where we had cancel files and just, this huge process to get, paper cancellation information up to the marketing department so they could try to call people who've been canceled. I mean, this is so much easier. So, again, it's a little bit of a process to go through and get this information updated here as far as, the cancellation reasons, but I think it's pretty easy. And then, the turnaround for the marketing department to get the information, start working those accounts is very easy because, we're all working off, the same customer card. So let me go back in and open this up. And wish I hadn't clicked out of that, but I'll pull it up real quick again. So if we go to the plan status, again, non-active, and then let's add the cancellation date filter. Just put in today's date. But again, let's pull up this customer account here. And what makes it so efficient and why this system is such a big improvement over what we're currently using is because where everybody's working off the same customer card. Marketing, customer service, dispatch, Laurie, all customers just have one account. So it just makes it, again, a very easy process, just like with this cancellation. As soon as, again, the, Laurie, Stephanie mark this as non-active, then, it's very easy for marketing to retrieve it and start working the PIC. And that will conclude this video.